Okay, so I believe I'm live. I got the notification here, and just wait for a moment. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I tried to go live, but it said stream couldn't be created, so I went back and rebooted the router just to make sure there's no issues. Um, I enjoyed this episode a lot more than I thought I did. Let's be real, could have done without the Sabrina and Rich crap. That means absolutely nothing. North Carolina, East Coast. I'm wearing a hoodie because it's like 63. It's been raining all day. No complaints here. I mean, it's August, so now every morning there's that back to school chill in the air. And I definitely prefer this to 90 and triple digit weather. So I'm here for it. I even got I've turned on my heat for the first time in probably over a month. Okay, I see people are slowly but surely coming in. I want to say that this episode, I actually appreciated the moments where it wasn't just about Karen, but it's the fact that we got to address Andi and Zach and the grief that they're both dealing with. And one of my favorite moments of the episode, see, the only scene I was looking forward to was Aaron visiting Zach, but also the fact that we learn Fatima, has a sit down with Andi to tell her you have a big heart and you'll do anything for the people you love, but don't let other people's situations prevent you from dealing with what you're feeling and what you're going through. That's a very important lesson. And honestly, yeah, this episode was all about Andi, Zach, and Karen dealing with everything that they've been going through recently. Like I said, don't care about the Sabrina Rich crap. Dude's coming across way too controlling and stalkerish and whatnot. Really not painting him in a good light. Tony quitting his job is stupid. And I will admit the comedy in this episode was really good between Paige and Maurice, and even that moment with Leonard and Danny. Those are pretty funny. Hey, from South Carolina. And yeah, you're right. I believe that, we got a soft confirmation of a few days passing between the last episode and this episode. Hayden mentioning how Andi took a few days off of personal. And yeah, I guess everybody just knows about, Fatima being pregnant now. So both Aaron and Andi mentioned it. And I was right in one of my videos. I posted like 20-something videos today. I was sitting on those. But I got them up before the episode aired. And I said in one of the videos, like, Zach and Karen having a clean break, will Karen like offer Zach, pretty much all the baby stuff that he got for their daughter is like, hey, the crib and all that stuff, I can give it back to you for the child that you and Fatima are having. And I'm glad Aaron, offered it before donating it, and also said, look, I know you probably don't want to look at it right now, but I'll just put it in my garage. And I just like that bro moment between Aaron and Zach, where it isn't always about Karen and Fatima. Look, I know we haven't always been on the same page and whatnot, but I love how Aaron had that moment with Zach. And it sucks how we don't have Nate or Tony in this show. So as a result, we really don't get to see Zach with a good support system. I mean, you could debate whether or not Tony and Nate are good, support systems for Zach, but it's cool that Aaron was there. We got 86 people. Is there more people in chat? I only see like the first 5. I don't know if there's supposed to be more or not. I'll just close the chat and reopen it. I don't know. The question is, will Karen get mad when she finds out Aaron took the stuff? I don't see. Okay, now we got more people in chat. Sorry. I guess it wasn't loading right. Yeah, that moment was much needed between these two. So is Aaron telling us that Fatima's having a girl? I wouldn't go that far. I mean, you got to think about all the baby stuff, like, you know, the stroller and the crib. Like, the crib wasn't like a female specific crib, it was just a crib. I mean, sure, it might have had like pink blankets or whatever, but the crib is, you know, a brown wooden crib. Or is it metal? I think it was wooden. I forgot. But in any case, will Karen get mad when she found out Aaron took the stuff? I don't think so. I don't really see a reason for her to be upset about that. I did like the comedy where Danny mentioned, Pam, why you got two breast pumps? Like, what do you think Karen is, a cow with udders? Yeah, I was kind of upset about that too. I mean, everybody finding out about Fatima's pregnancy, I feel like should have been a bigger deal, something that, you know, was done on screen. But to have it just tossed around like an afterthought, come on now. Absolutely. I think with this new revelation about Dr. Cruz, Andy will look more into it. Um, Ada, I think they pretty much confirmed that between episodes 3 and 4, a few days had passed. When Hayden mentioned Andy taking personal days, that's pretty much what solidified it for me. So during the few days, that's when I guess they found out. It really doesn't make sense to me because I just feel like that should have been something done on screen. I think for me, you know, Karen, and I've said this in all those videos I posted today, she has every right to feel the way she feels. This isn't something she's just going to get over. But at some point, you know, she's going to have to realize that her days of, you know, just moping around and cussing and being mad at the world, that's no longer valid because at this point, she has to realize she's no longer by herself. She has a little one who depends on her. So she has to get better, not just for her sake, but for her child's sake. That's something that needs to be, you know, mentioned to her. Hence why I did the video about, will Karen's grief and negligence cause Aaron to leave with their baby? Because he's going to be patient and understanding, but there's going to be a limit because it's like, look, if like 3 weeks go by and you still haven't like gotten out of bed and, you know, gotten yourself together so you can help take care of this baby, then we're going to have a problem. Tara, thanks for coming. I mean, if you want the full breakdown, my review's coming tomorrow, but you know, this is like a recap. You really didn't miss much. This entire episode was about grief, Zach dealing with what he's going through, which I love how he and Andy both said out loud everything that they've dealt with in such a short amount of time. You know, Zach mentions my mom dying, fighting for custody of Michael. Hang on. Gary taking his money, the Gary Hudson situation where he almost died and then losing his baby. It's a lot. And also, I am aware of a certain trailer, but it has not been publicly released, so I will not speak on it because I actually got some DMs while I was doing a live stream. No, I am not talking about it. I am not posting about it until they make it public. That's all I'm saying on it. Miss Lisa will have a limit. Oh yeah, she almost reached her limit in this episode. I know how Pam is like, don't poke the bear. Pam, this is Miss Lisa. She ain't backing down. Like, I know y'all are used to everybody else bowing down to Karen and walking on eggshells, but Miss Lisa don't play that. She don't play that. And for once, I was happy to see her kind of put her foot down. She is understanding, but nah, it's like you got to get up. Michelle, not just Karen, but like with Andy. Andy needs to talk with somebody. This woman can't sleep, hearing gunshot. No, Zach has Dr. Reed, but some of these other characters need to go to therapy too. I was surprised by Jeremiah not being mentioned as well. And I guess considering we skipped a few days, Robin is not in the season. He's back overseas, I'm guessing. Yeah, Andy and Zach expressing themselves was great. That was great. Sabrina doesn't have are all boys though. She said like what is 4 boys, so she has a choice of how many kids she wants and just knowing that they're all boys. But no, Rich popping up the way he did, and here is the first, and well, technically 2 things. One, it was completely stupid for Sabrina to get loud like that in a professional setting. Like you always get on Maurice and Paige when they bicker and whatnot, but you are going back and forth with the door open. And then on top of that, you calling Rich delusional is Rich, pun intended. Like, I'm with Rich on this one. Yeah, it might be true Penelope is low-key trying to get revenge on Andy, but I don't think that's it. I don't think her getting it on with Rich has anything to do with Andy by getting, hurting Sabrina. Like, it doesn't matter because Penelope already knew you broke up with him. So for her to call Rich delusional is stupid. And that is all I'm saying about those scenes because I literally do not give an F. It's stupid, and I don't know why. That's what kept the episode from being a higher score. Zach and Fatima had a brief moment before she went to work. She wanted to stay home to make sure he was okay, but she kind of, got pushed out of the door. So, he can just have time to sit in his funk. But when Aaron came over, it was good. It was just a good talk between the two. I ain't gonna hold you. That's really all I have to say. I mean, this was not a bad episode. Honestly, truly, I enjoyed this episode more than I thought I would. But to be completely, honest, there really isn't much to talk about. Took her lunch money. Yeah, he might push her away if he continues on this path of grief. Rebecca, I think Danny is regretting because maybe she feels like Tony made the wrong choice and did it for her, which honestly I agree with. Linnell, Fatima knows. She knows about Jasmine and everything. Nah, I guess they just ignored the voicemail thing. Nah, we're good. Gary can stay away for a while. I'd rather see him possibly being a looming threat in the background as opposed to popping up like Team Rocket in every episode. But then again, I think I would rather see Gary than the Sabrina crap right now. So I don't know. Oh yeah, make sure you thumbs up the video. And thank you all. We hit 296,000 subscribers. We now need less than 4,000 to hit 300K by my birthday on the 29th. Might be possible. I don't think this week I'm going to have a lot of videos because this was pretty straightforward. This episode, I might do a couple videos regarding like grief and whatnot. I'm not going to talk about the Rich and Sabrina stuff. I promise. There's nothing to discuss. I'll barely gloss over it in my review. Thank you for enjoying the reviews. Hayden is just, I don't know, Hayden. It was good to see him, though. Because she probably never had anybody in her backseat before. Yeah, they're definitely hinting at a Dr. Vaughn and Andy thing in the future. I'm not really down for that, but Yeah, I mean, this is how things work in the real world. It's not about well, technically, it is about what you know and who you know, because, like he said, the hospital just, swept a lot of stuff under the rug. But it's been a few days, so well, I guess Andy is technically building a case. So, I mean, she did kind of pull out the "I'm the partner" card a bit too fast, but then again, maybe she already knew Hayden was being insincere. Yeah, you're right. I'd rather have Gary back than more relationship drama. Andy was annoying. See, at first I thought the same thing. Like, he's being sincere, but then, of course, I don't know, basically flexing the partner card on him. But I mean, because at first he was like, yeah, there's only a few of us here, aka black people. So, initially I'm like, Andy, you're doing too much. But then again, you got to wonder, did Hayden, strike below the belt because Andy took it to another level? Was it? Let's just say Andy was not in the mood for his stuff. I get it. I'll leave it at that. But it was just cool. Andy, I like the new hair, and I liked her opening up to Fatima. It was some good stuff. Oh yeah, I mentioned this earlier. This episode balanced comedy pretty well. I love the Maurice and Paige stuff. Even the Leonard and Danny scene was good. Hot coffee. Yeah, the other night that kind of threw me off too. So yes, folks, there was a mini time skip between episodes, a few days. Yeah, she named the baby Forever Taylor. Yeah, that got Hayden to shut up real quick, mentioning Tamara. But Andy, he isn't wrong about you though. The thing is, Tamara, that's her occupation. You're supposed to be a professional. Yeah, Hayden was being Hayden. But to be honest, I do feel he was being sincere, but Andy decided to kind of nip it in the bud. Yes, she is acting like Rich cheated, and it is stupid. It really is. Correct. Forever is the one who died. Faith is the one. I'm surprised we actually got to see the baby, who is adorable, by the way. But yeah, I was surprised we actually got to see the baby. I thought that, the baby wouldn't be shown anytime soon, but we got to see the baby. Yeah, he wasn't wrong about Andy's body count. Nope, not at all. And also, if you're wondering, I did watch Beyond the Gates today, and I will be doing the review tonight or tomorrow. Danny is doing too much. Hey, I've always rooted for Andre and Ashley. I know that might not be the popular opinion. I'm looking at my notes again, and I think that's really about it. I feel like seeing Zach will be the pick me up. Honestly, here's what I think will happen. You got the girls, you got Aaron, you got Lisa. Hell, you even got Lisa, the girls, Pam, Aaron, hell, even her baby. None of them can get Karen out of the room. Bet money that if Zach comes by, she's going to perk up. Bet money. Now, that could happen, or maybe she'll lash out. Well, I bet you're glad. But then again, I know she's pissed off, but something tells me even she knows not to say that bull crap. I think Zach, it would be the only way of getting her out of bed. Yeah, Danny ought to use it. Because remember, she and Kresha didn't have any appointments after she got terminated because she got laid off without pay. So she couldn't afford a therapy. But now that she got that settlement and her job back, yeah, she ought to schedule an appointment just to check in, given everything going on. Tamara is supposed to be in this season, if I remember correctly. I'm not saying you're wrong about the Penelope thing, but Sabrina, it doesn't no, here's my thing. Penelope knew that Rich and Sabrina have, well, Sabrina dumped Rich. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, he did bring up Gladys passing. I mean, what did Zach used to say? Look, I got love for Karen, but I'm not in love with Karen, which is something that he really needed to stop saying sooner than he did, because it was like giving her false hope. And it's not like he intends to, but given how irrational Karen is, he should know better than, of his word choices. But yeah, I don't think she has any reason to get upset for Aaron basically giving Zach back the baby stuff, because number one, they don't need it. Number two, it's a constant reminder of the baby they lost. And number three, that Zach and Fatima could put it to use for their child. Yeah, honestly, don't think I haven't. Yeah, Andy and Aaron mentioned Fatima's baby. I think that's why Danny is feeling some kind of way, because I think she realizes she doesn't want Tony like she thought. And it's like, oh man, this man left his job and everything for me. But what if we don't end up together? Yeah, I felt bad for Fatima too. I mean, there was literally nothing she could do. But I get it though. She probably feels bad because of the fact that she wants to help Zach, but she really can't. This is just something he has to work through. And it makes sense. It makes sense. It's just like with Fatima. Sabrina didn't want to see. Why didn't she? This man literally said, like, well, we're not together, so I could do what I want. Basically saying that I'm not leaving, even though you told me to. They should have called security on his ass. That's what should have happened, because this is just getting ridiculous. Danny blocked the number. Sabrina did not. Because if Danny didn't block it, I have no doubt in my mind Sabrina would have kept him unblocked, because deep down she likes the attention. I did not notice her baby bump. No. But I will go back and watch. I mean, if we dug a little deeper, we could say, oh yeah, she will be mad because the baby stuff is going to be used for Fatima and Zach. But that's still Zach's stuff. I mean, I don't even want to think about it. Did they mention Fatima having a girl? I don't think they did. I mean, yeah, when Aaron stopped by and said I was going to donate the stuff, but I opted to come by here and ask you if you wanted it because you and Fatima are having a baby. And if you don't want to see it right now, then hey, I could put it in my storage unit. Here's my thought process on it. Number one, I don't think they know the gender of Zach and Fatima's baby. And number two, I think things like a breast pump, a crib, a stroller, baby bottles, that stuff anybody can use. It's not just, gender specific as to what the baby turns out to be. And what I'm saying is, when they say the baby stuff, my mind instantly goes to stuff for an infant, regardless. Yeah, I honestly have no interest in the Rich and Penelope stuff. Don't get me wrong. Penelope is great to look at. I love her when she's on screen, but there's just no reason for this drama. It is stupid. Oh my God. Yes. What did she say? Zakisha and something else. I forgot what the other name was. Yeah. Aaronette. Oh my God. Oh man. Yeah. Zakisha and Aaronette. That banner, that was crazy. That was crazy. And it's like, oh, this is awkward. And I mean, I get it. It's not going to get any easier for Karen. I mean, at some point it will be, but you got to think about everybody knowing she had twins, and now they're going to know she lost one. So you got a lot of people who are going to be feeling sorry for her, and rightfully so. But it's going to be rough. This isn't something that's going to be easily overcome. Yeah. You're not wrong. Maybe I'm not really talking about that stuff because I mentioned all of the above in my Karen videos about will she lash out at Zach? Will her and Zach have a moment together? Who will be on the receiving end of her wrath and things like that? Did they drop the trailer yet? I don't think anybody messaged me about the trailer. Let me check my inbox. Usually somebody's like, yo, Jeremy, they dropped the trailer for next week. Nobody yet. Pam didn't know about the baby. Yep. Wait, didn't that guy say that Dan? What's up, cuz? As in, that's Danny's cousin? Yeah, that's Danny's cousin. I mean, okay, I understand where y'all are coming from in terms of it being a trigger, but you got to look at it from Aaron's perspective. Karen came in, saw all the double stuff, and freaked out. She couldn't do it. So I think he made the right decision. Karen caught Karen. This she brought it upon herself. She should have kept her legs closed. She didn't want to be with him. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. It was God's sign to cut him off. And I mentioned this in another. Well, actually, I did look at a few clips from a Crystal and DeVal interview, and Crystal mentioned how she hopes that Fatima and Zach can start planning their wedding soon. And I did a video. I just haven't edited and posted it yet, but I'm glad too because you got to think about it. Fatima told Zach, I don't want to set a date or plan for the wedding until we square things away with Karen, like the child support stuff and whatnot. Because remember, they had to put all of their happiness on hold or on the back burner, all in the name of not pissing off Karen so she get mad and like try to take Zach for everything with child support. Remember? But now that that isn't part of the equation, they can finally, live their own life. So, and DeVal mentioned how he's pushing for a theatrical release, like a Zatima wedding movie, which would be awesome. Honestly, I don't see that happening because if Tyler isn't dropping his big films like the Medea films in theaters, I don't see a Zach and Fatima movie making it. Now, I feel like the movie would do well, but I see it more of like a streaming platform thing. I don't know. And yeah, now oh man, now it's even crazier. So you're telling me we had a gap, like there were days have passed from Karen coming. Wait a minute though. Hang on, hang on. Wait, never mind. I had a theory, but it makes no sense. So you're telling me days have passed from the babies being born to this episode. And during that time jump, not a single soul told Pam that she lost a baby. Now that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Because I was under the assumption before this episode aired, it would be the next morning. Like, oh damn, Karen's coming home already? Okay. But now we know it's like the events of episode 3, a few days have passed, and then Karen comes home with the baby, yet Pam never knew one of the babies was lost. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And Maurice knowing, yeah, I could definitely see Sabrina telling him about it. Yeah, I'm glad Zach gave Fatima that reassurance as well. Anything else? Just looking at my notes here, well, we covered pretty much everything. Okay, no, Gary ain't dead.
Wednesday. I found evidence that can help us sue for malpractice. It's a night of escalation. For malpractice. It's a night of escalation. Not meant to be in longer. Get out now. Type of Perry Sistas.
Okay, that's the trailer.
What we do. Yeah. Now, speaking of favorite part, Miss, does Andy have any standout episodes this season that you're excited? Guess who showed up and made her?
Okay, the trailer looks pretty good. Yeah, that's what Sabrina says. Oh, actually, Maurice said it. Yeah, Fatima needs to take some time for herself too. I mean, she couldn't, I guess. But like I said, this is her first day back at the house. And this isn't going to be easy. But there's only going to be so much time before Miss Lisa drags her ass out of that bed. Because somebody needs to tell her, like, look, I'm not trying to undermine what you're going through. No one is ignoring that you lost a child, but you need to get up. You need to recover. You need to get better. That way you can at least be here for, the one child that did make it, because you moping around is going to do no good for anybody, not yourself, not your daughter. So and Penelope trying to be Andy so bad, man. DeVal about to go full Zack attack mode. What makes you think that? Andy shouldn't have shaken his hand. Penelope might be up to something, but I'm not invested in that story to care. I really do not care. Hayden's still the jerk he is. I'm uncertain about that, because of the fact that I honestly think he was being sincere at first, but he only reacted with his usual Hayden methods because Andy decided to flaunt her authority over him. So I don't really know how that conversation would have went had she, not responded the way she did. Why not antagonize Sabrina? I don't know. I feel like they could have done something better. I gave the episode a 7 because the Sabrina crap dragged it down a few episodes. I enjoyed this episode more than I did. I really love the idea of it not just being about Karen, but seeing Zach deal with all of the stuff he's dealt with and Andy address everything she's dealt with made the episode good. Plus, I think they utilized comedy pretty damn well. So it was solid overall, except for the Sabrina stuff. Nothing about Hayden is sincere, except for the way he feels about Tamara. I'm surprised Fatima didn't tell Andy to talk to somebody. Deborah, I felt the same way. It's like she doesn't want to get better and stuff. And I'm like, I feel like it's mainly due because of not being connected to Zach. I agree, Hayes. I think that if it was Zach's baby that made it, she wouldn't be as big as a funk. She wouldn't be as big of a funk as she is right now. Shanny, you didn't miss much. It wasn't a bad episode, but it was just a grieving episode. Do you think Hudson, Gary, Andy, and Zach will be in court soon? I don't even know if that will be handled on screen. I heavily doubt it. It's postpartum. That's part of the reason, but I think it's more than that. Heartbreak, not peace. I can see that. The moral backbone is snapping the defense overdrive. Yeah, trust me, you didn't miss much. It's like the Sabrina and Rich stuff was useless. Tony quit his job. Aaron goes to see Zach. Fatima and Andy talk about her feelings, and Karen is just stuck in bed grieving. I saw the trailer on Twitter. There's really not much to talk about it yet until I see the 30-second one. BET showed it. Okay, then somebody ought to be sending it to me later, and I'll do a breakdown tomorrow. I have no idea what is it. What is so important that Rich needs to say to Sabrina? That's what is pissing me off. There is literally nothing left to say. Aaron didn't say nothing when Gary mentioned, yeah. He doesn't even need to put in an email. He needs to go about his life. Karen is not used to karma. She's used to just being bratty, but now it's like, well, I don't know. It's just eating up screen time. Hell, we could have just gotten a longer scene between Aaron and Zach, and I would have been satisfied with that. Like, for real, if all we're going to do is have Sabrina whining about a man that she broke up with, I don't care. I'll have my Beyond the Gates review up tomorrow or tonight, probably tomorrow. I don't even know if Gary and Aaron are still affiliated with each other. I honestly do not know. Any other questions before we wrap up? I don't know. Nate and Tony, this would be a great time for them to show up. Yeah, she's just messy enough to do that. And I remember saying during the hiatus, watch Penelope get pregnant with Rich's baby, and then Sabrina's going to be in her feelings about it, because that's just the kind of person she is. You turn down his sperm. I agree. I think that season 9 so far is doing a better job storytelling than we've seen in a couple of seasons. So that says a lot. Michael is with his aunt, I think. Well, she's going to be showing in Zatima season 4, I think. So I think anyway. Okay, folks. If we ain't got nothing else to talk about, a decent enough episode. Yeah, I think we're kind of getting to the lull of the season. Not that it's going to be bad. It's just that we started off at a high point, so I think we're probably going to, go down before we get to the mid-season finale. Baby was light skinned. Yeah. How does everybody know about Fatima? It was told off screen. Yeah. Okay, folks, thumbs up the video. I'll have the review and trailer breakdown up tomorrow. You know the drill. Like I said, unless the trailer is really, really in depth, the 30-second one, I don't really see myself doing a whole bunch of videos this week. So yeah. Yeah, and she did break up with him. I don't know why she's throwing a hissy fit. All right. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you all in the next one.